Due to this whole baby formula scandal, I said I'm going to convert to Islam.
What Christian values are supposed to be, and see that it's the Muslims that are actually following more along the lines of Christ.
If we don't show the love of Christ, who's going to? It looks like it's other people.
The most beautiful thing that has come out of this is that the good people are being good people. And karmically, the people who might not be so good are really exposing themselves.
Assalamu alaikum and welcome back to another video. So the TikTok baby formula experiment is making people ask a lot of questions, and not just questions. People are already thinking of reverting to Islam. There's actually a brother who on his TikTok posted a video and said, I converted to Islam because of baby formula. So he reverted to Islam because of the baby formula experiment. And under his comment section, other people are also saying they are looking into Islam. One of the biggest things that this baby formula experiment has destroyed is the propaganda about Islam. People are saying this was a huge sign to humanity. Western propaganda could only push Islam for so long. People being brainwashed by society for the last 56 years, when in reality it is the most logical, clear-cut and straightforward religion with zero mistake. I saw this comment that also talked about Sharia. He said, when you're starting to realize the purpose of Sharia laws is to establish justice, eliminate hardship, and bring about benefit for humanity. You know, the propaganda out there is that the Sharia is so bad. You know, there was actually a video I saw that a guy, he put a video of a woman who was beaten, and he said it's Sharia, when in reality Sharia is to protect vulnerable people such as that woman.
Due to this whole baby formula scandal, I said I'm going to convert to Islam. I got to. They the only one who out here helping the community. I might as well just take my shahada. There is no God but God is Allah, and Muhammad is his messenger of Allah. Allahu Akbar. If you're not going to help the people, or if you're not for the people or practice zakah, what are you in the communities for? It's a black church in every corner. It's a mega church in every city sucking the well dry. But they don't, what they doing to help but selling us faith. Faith can't put food on the table. Faith can't keep the lights on. Faith can't put your kids to good school. You got to trust yourself. I'm not here to pick on them, but it's time to switch sides.
So a mosque provided baby formula to a Christian mother and her child. Yet, we have a Christian president in the White House who's refusing to provide food to 42 million Americans. Who's the enemy? Why are we looking at Muslims as the enemy when it's Christians that are standing around doing nothing to help the American people in need? I'm just trying to understand why we're vilifying someone and trying to treat Muslims like the enemy when it seems that our supposed enemy is actually doing more for the people around them than the people that are supposedly our friends are doing at all. 20 churches said no to that Christian mother. One mosque said yes. When you sit here and look at what Christian values are supposed to be and see that it's the Muslims that are actually following more along the lines of Christ than Christians are, it makes me wonder exactly who are our enemies and why are we labeling a group of people who are actually trying to help and yet somehow allowing the people who are doing nothing for us to be considered our friends. What I know is that the people that came up from Mexico to help during the Texas floods were looked at as enemies, but they came and helped. Muslims came to the aid of that Christian woman when her child needed formula the most. We should all be looking at this and wondering who really is our enemy and who is our friend. And perhaps maybe we should stop looking at each other and look at the people.
Google removed all the good reviews on the mosque that decided to help. And I thought it's a coincidence, but the original woman that was calling churches and then and mosques. That mosque that decided to help her, all their 6.4K reviews are wiped too. So I don't think it's a coincidence. And I figured that since this woman did what she did and it shed light on Islam a little bit, they got really, really mad because the woman ruined their plan to push Islamophobia even more. There was a situation in Dearborn, the mayor confronting an Islamophobe guy that went in front of mosques in Dearborn and was making Islamophobic videos. The media only took his reaction and they pushed it on mainstream media to try to push Islamophobia even more. And people believed it without looking for any context of the situation. This is no hate to Christianity. We coexist like nobody has a problem with anything.
So I'm actually surprised at how surprised people are about the woman who called, churches, mosques, and Buddhist temples to ask for baby formula with a screaming, crying baby in the background. Just asking for baby formula because the baby is hungry and she had no way to feed this baby. Buddhist temples, 100% said yes. Mosques, 100% said yes. And as for the churches showed how little they care for struggling families, how little they care for struggling mothers who are just trying to feed their baby, and that maybe they would care, but you would have to be a member of their church for them to care. However, predominantly black churches did come through. The predominantly black churches showed up for this baby and for this mother. And if it wasn't for them, nearly 0 churches would have said yes to helping this mother with her screaming child.
To the girl that's calling the churches to see if they'll help her feed her hungry baby, she's just going around and she's calling different churches and she's acting like she has a hungry baby and there's a baby crying in the background, but just calling to see which churches would help. Almost all of them said no. There was an Islamic church that said yes. There was a sweet Appalachian old man that was just trying to write everything down. That one made me cry. Just trying to write everything down so he could get it right. Like, baby, what do you need? All the Christian denominational churches were like, no, we don't do that. We do this instead. Listen, I've been scammed before. I've had somebody that said that they were starving and they were hungry and they were cold, and I just gave them money. I didn't know. And come to find out, then they tried to hack my bank account. But one thing I'm not going to be guilty of is ever standing before the Lord and saying that I was presented with an opportunity to possibly help somebody that was hungry, and I said no. Because that's what the churches are for. The churches are there for the orphans and the widows and the hungry, the brokenhearted, the broken in spirit, the broken financially. If we don't show the love of Christ, who's going to? It looks like it's other people. Baby, Lord, don't ever let me be guilty of that. Okay, hey, I love y'all. Bye.
The thing I love about this TikTok baby milk formula is not just all the debate about white supremacy and capitalist structures and religion being weaponized, because there's good and bad in everything. There's good and bad in every religion. There is something much better and bigger that's come out of this, and that is that people are donating to the right places. And people are learning that actually, if you can afford to buy an extra can of baby formula or tin of baby formula and donate it to a baby bank or a religious organization that does give, or to a food bank, then that is what you should do. One of the Christian churches that did say yes to helping has so far had $95,000 donated to them. That was just this morning. There's probably more that's been donated. The Islamic Center that said yes has had an influx in donations because people are learning about the places that do give and that do say yes. And so they're donating to them. People are also learning that in America at this moment in time, and the UK, and all over the world, people can't afford to feed their children. Now, we don't need a debate right now on whether you should have children if you can't afford to feed them, because that's not the problem. The problem is that people can't afford to feed their children, and there are some people who have more. And because people are learning this, some of the people who have more are donating to the places that give to the people who have less. And that is the most beautiful thing that has come out of this. The most beautiful thing that has come out of this is that the good people are being good people. And karmically, the people who might not be so good are really exposing themselves. And it doesn't matter. This is not about, is Christianity better than Islam? Because there is nothing wrong with either of those religions. It's the people within them. There are good people and bad people of every faith, or there are good atheists and bad atheists, because people are people. That's why I love psychology. It's human behavior. What we are learning is that there are some people who need help, and there are some people who will help them. And because we are learning that there are more people that need help, people are helping. That's the lesson here. And I'm so proud of TikTok for what it is doing and for the people who are giving. And if you have a little bit extra and you can afford to buy a tin of formula milk or a tin of baked beans or whatever, go and donate to your food bank, your local food bank. Even if it is just one item, that one item could mean everything. Because if every single person just donated one item, just think of how many items that would mean. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. And let's just keep giving. If we can give, let's give.
So are you following this experiment? If you want to follow it, this is her TikTok account. If you want to follow the experiment, she is still putting out content concerning the baby formula, calling churches. If you're enjoying this content, as usual, don't forget to subscribe to this channel, give this video a massive thumbs up, share, and I'll see you in another one. Until next time, assalamu alaikum.